Yes. So these are the topics. So first is about the deemed to be university. Second is related to governor's power under Article 161, and third article is related to Raja Ravi Verma. See, fourth article I have added here about piped natural gas, but we shall be discussing it, I think, tomorrow because it is a very long topic. Because here we shall be discussing about the piped natural gas, liquefied petroleum gas, CNG, etc., etc. So that's why I haven't described this topic in the today's sheet. So yes, first very important article is about the concept of deemed university. Deemed to be university. So what is the context? The context is NCRT has now been given the status of deemed university. So many questions can arise from this topic, like what is deemed to be university, what is NCRT, what is university's grant commission, what are the conditions are required for an university to be considered as deemed to be university. So all these things are very important because from this single article only lot of questions can be asked. Some logical questions in UPSC, some of the objective questions in other government exams. So please do focus on what all we are discussing. First of all, let's discuss about the news itself, what the news is saying. So first important thing is about the status. That first important thing, who got the status? NCRT got the status. Now, since NCRT got the status of deemed to be university, so what extra things can NCRT now do? So first of all, NCRT can offer its own academic programs and courses. Second thing, now NCRT can also confer degrees, which was earlier not possible because earlier degrees can only be issued by any university. For example, DU, for example, JNU. These are the central universities and they can issue the degrees of their own. But now, since NCRT has also become deemed to be university, then NCRT can offer its own courses. Second, NCRT can now confer the degrees. So now, a few years later, any of your friend or no any of your family member or relative will be having the degree of NCERT also. Second important thing is that what does this shift shows? So this shift shows earlier NCRT was purely a curriculum and research body because mainly NCRT is related to the primary institutions, to the school institutions. So NCRT organizes the curriculum. NCRT makes all the kind of courses and syllabus which the students must study. But now NCRT has also become a degree granting academic institution, very important. Now NCRT can also provide the degree to students. Next important thing in the article is about the coverage of status. That means what all institutes will be covered under this deemed to be university. So as we know that NCRT got the status of deemed to be university, so the status applies to NCRT headquarters, which are in Delhi, and to other 6 regional institutes of NCERT. So now in the comment section, you have to give me the answer that where are these 6 regional institutes of NCERT located? You have to give me the name of the states also, as well as if there is any particular name of institute. So you have to give the name also. So this is your first homework. I am writing because no, generally at the end I forget that what all things I have asked you. So I am writing here. This is the first homework where you have to give me the name of all the 6 regional institutes of NCRT. After that, coming to the conditions imposed on NCRT, because if NCRT is getting some status, then government and UGC will impose some conditions also. So what are the first condition? NCRT must follow all the norms and standards of universities grant commission, because UGC is the sole body which regulates all the norms and standards for the higher educational institutions like colleges and universities. Second important thing is NCERT must not indulge in any commercial or profit making activity. Reason for this is because NCERT is a public entity and the work of public entity is not to indulge in any commercial or profit motives. Now, coming to the academic expansion, because in starting only we discussed that now NCERT can offer its own courses. So what academic expansion can NCERT do? So NCRT is mandated. That means it's important for NCRT. It's mandatory for NCRT to start the PhD programs. That means research and doctoral programs. So now every NCRT institute will have the PhD programs. Second important thing is NCRT has to introduce the innovative academic programs like virtual reality labs or like any AI related program. So NCRT have to introduce all these kind of innovative programs. Next, NCRT should expand into immersive as well as emerging as well as other academic domains. So it is related to this only, like the innovative programs. Next important thing is about the off-campus and offshore campus. That means at present where the NCRT building is, NCR. So apart from that also NCRT can set up some of the institutes and abroad also NCRT can set up some of its institutes. Now the article says whatever NCRT is doing, everything must be aligned with the National Education Policy 2020 because National Education Policy focuses on multidisciplinary education and second thing it focuses on research as well as innovation. Next important thing is about the quality assurance mechanism. See, this is very, very important because here three types of quality assurance mechanisms are being discussed. First is about the National Board of Accreditation. Second is about the National Assessment and Accreditation Council, what we call as NAAC. And third is National Institutional Ranking Framework. So line by line, word by word, let's discuss what are these. First, I will talk about NBA, that is National Board of Accreditation. So this is mainly focused on programs of any particular institute, specific programs, for example, BTech programs, or for example, MBA programs. So the role of National Board of Accreditation is to ensure the quality of programs of specialized domains which are being run in any institute. Now let's discuss about NAAC. NAAC, National Assessment and Accreditation Council. So what is the role of NAAC? NAAC is focusing on the entire institute. Entire institute means NAAC will discuss about the infrastructure also. Just a second. About the infrastructure, about the quality of teaching in the institute, about various academic programs, about the governance and regulations. So NAAC will focus on the institute. National Board of Accreditation will focus on the program. So it is program specific. Now, third, what we discussed is about the National Institution Ranking Framework. So NRIF basically ranks the various colleges and higher educational institutions based on their performance. So based on their performance only, after any exam, students choose the colleges in their counseling based on the NIRF ranking only. So these are the three accreditation institutes. So at least you must know the basic role of all these institutes. Now, next thing given in the article is about the digital and academic reforms. So article says that since NCRT now got the status of deemed university, so NCRT has to set up the academic bank of credits. Very, very important concept. Let's discuss about the academic bank of credits. What is the meaning for this? See, academic bank of credit, ABC, what we call as. So see, what is happening here, no? In academic bank of credit, this is a kind of repository. Repository of what? This is a repository of credits. Means here, all the credits which any student will earn during the period of studying in any college or university. So in this repository, all the credits will be stored. And what is the meaning of credit here? See, credits will show, for example, if you are studying economics in your college. So, for example, if you have completed the subject of economics, then maybe you will get the credit score of 4. So, credit shows that you have completed a particular subject. So, for example, completing economics, you get credit of 4. For example, for completing history, you get the credit of 3. So, basically, this just a second. Okay, so sorry for this disruption. So here, what we can say, for economics you got 4, for history for you got 3. So maybe there are 7 credits in your academic bank of credits. Now, what is the benefit for this? See, for example, benefit for this is maybe you are doing a degree course of 3 years, and after 1 year you want to change your college. You want to spend 2 years of your degree in another college. So what will happen? This 7 credits which you earned in first college, these 7 credits will be transferred to second college. So it means it will show that already you have completed your 2 subjects. Now you can resume your studies from the other subjects. So this is the benefit for this. Anytime you can change your institute, anytime you can change your college, and you can resume your studies from where you left. Second important benefit of this is maybe because of some reason, so you have to drop the studies after 1 year in your 3-year course of degree. So what you can do, these credits will help you. For example, here you earn credit of 7. You have 7 credits. So you can use these 7 credits after 2 years also. So even after 2 years, it will be considered that yes, you have completed your course of economics as well as history. So now you can resume your studies. So this is the benefit of academic bank of credits. So please do remember what is the academic bank of credit. Second, you have to remember what is the meaning of credit. And third, you have to remember what is the significance for this. So yes, this was the concept of credits. Now quickly, let's discuss about the overall classification of universities in India. So this is the university set up in India. So basically 3 classification we can make. First is about the public university, second is about the private university, and third is about the deemed university. So public university means these universities are made under the law made by the parliament, and these universities are supported by the central government of India. If we talk about the public state universities, that means they are made under state law and they are supported by the state government. Talking about the private universities, so these universities are made under any state law, and basically they are supported by other bodies apart from state government, like any society, any trust, etc. And if we talk about the deemed university, very, very important thing, these are not made under any law. Deemed universities are not made under any law. These are the existing universities which are being given, these are the existing institutes which are being given the status of deemed to be university because of the focus on specific subjects or specific domain. So if I take the example of public university, so for example, Delhi University, DU, JNU, these are the public universities. If I talk about the private university, then Amity University, and deemed university, NCERT has recently got the status. Here we can give the example of Amity University. Now quickly discuss other important facts related to deemed to be university. So all the deemed universities must be recognized by UGC, that is Universities Grant Commission, under UGC Act of 1956. So which institutes can get this status of deemed university? The accredited higher educational institutions. So it's not like any school can get the status of deemed to be university. Any higher educational institution can get this status. And why they are getting this status? Because they are focusing on some high performing specialized functions. So high performing specialized functions maybe focus on the research activities. So they are focusing on specific very good thing. That's why they are given that status. Now, what is the reason for this? Why this concept of deemed to be university was introduced? Because we have public universities, we have private universities. What is the reason to introduce third category? Because according to UGC Act, universities can be formed under state law or central law. But what about the universities which over the period of time have improved their status and now focusing on research? So to focus on all those kind of universities, this concept was introduced. So in this way, Government of India can allocate this status. Now, this is very objective thing and very important for the exam, which was the first institute of India which got the status of deemed to be university. So it was IISC, that is Indian Institute of Science in 1958. Year is also very important. After that, which state in India has the highest number of deemed to be university? So that state is Tamil Nadu, having 28 universities, deemed to be universities. And yes, this we already discussed that if any university is deemed to be, that means it will have some kind of freedom. with related to courses, curriculum, etc. Now let's discuss something about the NCERT, because since NCERT only got this status, so let us have an idea. First important thing, NCERT was formed in 1961. It is neither a constitutional body nor it is a statutory body. Very, very important. It is an autonomous body, means a body related to government, having kind of having a bit of independence in performing its activities. And second important thing is it is registered as society under Societies Registration Act. So please don't get confused that since any act is mentioned, that means it is a statutory body. No, it is registered as a society under this act. Society Registration Act is an umbrella act. Anybody can be registered as a society under this act. That does not mean that that body is statutory. So neither it is constitutional nor it is statutory. Please focus on all these things. Second important thing is the purpose of NCERT. What is the objective of NCERT? So basically, its objective, mainly earlier its objective was to focus on educational policies. Now it got the status of university, but earlier it was focusing on school education policies. So what were its objective? To focus on the research in the school environment, and to focus on developing the interesting learning material. Here the article gives the example of Jadui Pitara. Jadui Pitara concept was introduced under National Education Policy 2020. So Jadui Pitara basically is a toolbox. This toolbox is given to small children, and in this toolbox contains various interesting things. For example, puzzles, toys, etc. So in this way, students can learn in a interesting manner. So these are the main functions of NCERT to develop the interesting learning material. Next function is to conduct the teachers training, to develop the innovative teaching methods, etc., etc. And its very, very important function is to focus on the universalization of elementary education, because earlier its focus was mainly on the school education policies. Now let's discuss about the University Grant Commission, because based on its advice only, government will allot any status of deemed university or deemed to be university. So UGC is a statutory organization, very, very important thing. And what is that statute or act? That is UGC Act of 1956. Under which body it comes? So it comes under which ministry? It comes under the Ministry of Education. Now, what are the main purposes of UGC? Sorry, what are the main objectives of UGC? So, see, some of the objectives you can easily predict. That one of its objectives is to promote and coordinate the university education based on the standards and rules, etc. See, this thing is very important. It provides grants to eligible universities and colleges, because some of you may not be knowing that whether it provides the grants also. So UGC also has one of the objective to provide grants to eligible universities and colleges. Now, its next important function is to advise central and state governments for the development of higher education in India. So all these points are very important for the prelims. Okay, so I think ABC I discussed in the summary itself. So ABC, let's see some of the important things. So ABC is formed under National Education Policy 2020, and this thing I have already discussed. It provides multiple entry and exit options. Maybe you drop your study after 1 year, after 2 years, again you can start. It enables the students to leave a degree or course and rejoin the studies after a certain period of time. So this through an example I have already discussed. Now, important thing here is Academic Bank of Credit is an initiative of Ministry of Education plus Ministry of Information and Technology. This you have to remember. Now, next important article is about the governor's power under Article 161. Very, very important, because nowadays the questions on governors are being increased in UPSC prelims. So you have to focus on this governor's power under Article 161. So, what is the context here? Recently, a full judge bench of Madras High Court has said that governor is bound by the advice of Council of Ministers while exercising powers under Article 161. So, two important things here you must know. First of all, what are the powers of governor under Article 161? And under what article it is discussed that governor is bound by the advice of Council of Ministers? So, two things you must know here. Okay. So first of all, let's discuss about the Article 161. Very, very important. Again, I am saying question can be asked on this article also. So first of all, let's see what article says, what it is related to. So basically, Article 161 provides the power. Just a second. This article provides the power to governor of a state to grant the pardons, reprieves, respites, and remissions of punishment, or suspend, remit, and commute the sentence of any person convicted of any offence against the state law. So, to understand it in a very comprehensive manner, first of all, let us know about these terms. What is the meaning of these terms? So, first of all, about the pardon. So, what is pardon? Basically, pardon is a comprehensive thing. In pardon, the governor or the president of India will free a person from all the kinds of punishments and disqualifications. So it will remove or the convict from all the punishments and disqualifications. Second concept is about the commutation. So commutation means it substitutes one form of punishment to the lighter one. For example, maybe you got the sentence, a jail sentence of 2 years. So maybe now the High Court will say that instead of serving the jail term of 2 years, you have to do social service for 2 years. So your punishment has been converted to lighter form. Coming to the remission means the sentence will change. The sentence will be the period of your sentence will reduce, but nature will not change. For example, earlier you got 10 years of imprisonment. So now maybe it got converted into 5 years, but the nature is not changing here. Next is about the respite. So respite is related to some of the special conditions. Special conditions, for example, physical disability or pregnancy. So because of these emergency situations, maybe your death sentence or maybe any of your award will be reduced to the lighter form. Next, coming to the reprieve. Reprieve is related to the temporary stay of any sentence, and reason for this is the governor or president wants to give you a proper amount of time so that you can defend yourself and maybe you can get pardon or commutation instead of death sentence. Okay, so now do you understand what is the meaning for this? So under Article 161, the governor of any state has the power to do all these things, to completely free a person from all kinds of punishments or to change the punishment into lighter form. Now, important thing here is the pardoning power of governor differs from that of president. This also you must know. So what are those two differing points? First is, as we have discussed that governor can pardon the punishment. Important thing here is that president can pardon the sentence inflicted by military courts, but governor cannot. So this is the exception, that if the sentence is given by the military courts, then governor cannot enter in that domain. Second important thing is president can pardon death sentences while governor cannot. So two things what governor cannot do. Governor cannot enter in the domain of the military courts. Second thing, what governor cannot do? Governor cannot pardon death sentences. Very, very important thing. And even if according to any state law, a person is getting death sentence, then also governor cannot pardon it. Only president can do it. Very, very important thing from exam point of view. Now, as I have said that in the context we also discussed about that governor is bound by the advice of Council of Ministers. So at least you must know the article, which article binds governor with the Council of Ministers advice. So Article 163 says Council of Ministers must be there to aid and advise governor except in so far as he is by or under this constitution required to exercise and functions in any of his discretion. That means, according to Article 163, the Council of Ministers has to advise the governor and governor has to act on the advice of Council of Ministers. But this line says that there are some situations where governor can act on his or her own discretion and do not need to take the permission from the Council of Ministers. This is very, very important. And this is the second homework for you. You have to read all the points under which governor can act in his own discretion, and you don't need to write all those points in the comment section. At least you write 2 points which you think that they can be asked in exam. So this is your second homework. You have to read all the situations under which governor can act in his discretion, and in the comment section you have to write 2 points. Next, Next point about Article 162. Oh, sorry. Next point about Article 163. So next important thing is that if a situation arises that no, if there is confusion that whether this matter will come under governor or not, means that for example, there is a situation where there is a confusion that whether governor can act in his discretion or whether government has to take the advice from council of ministers. So it will be the decision of governor only that whether that matter is under my discretion or not. So this will be decided by the governor only. Next important thing is whatever advice the council of ministers will give to the governor cannot go to Supreme Court or High Court that no, I am not liking this decision, so please do a judicial review on this. So it is not possible. So the advice tendered by council of ministers will not be inquired in any court of law. Now, next very important and very interesting article also. So actually this article is about Raja Ravi Verma. So see here the context is recently an iconic painting of Raja Ravi Verma. That painting was Yashoda and Krishna. So this is the painting. So this painting of Raja Ravi Verma was recently sold in an auction. Important thing here is it is the most expensive modern Indian artwork ever sold. That's why it was in news. So for, at least you must know basic points about Raja Ravi Verma. So let's discuss from prelims point of view some of the objective points. So see, basically his name was Ravi Verma only. This title was given by some personality which we shall be discussing. So first of all, Ravi Verma was born in an aristocratic family. Where he was born? He was born in Travancore, which is at present in Kerala. Second important thing is he is considered as the pioneer of modern school painting. What is the reason for that? Because very beautifully he blended the Indian elements with the Western elements. Especially, he combined the elements of South Indian painting with Western techniques and style. That's why we call him as pioneer of modern school of painting. Next important thing is firstly, he was patronized by ILM Thirunal, and he was the Maharaja of Travancore. So he was patronized by this Raja, and because of this patronization only, he was able to continue his work. Now, two important teachers were there in his life. So name of those teachers are also important. So from those teachers, he learned water painting and oil painting. So who taught him water painting? Water painting was taught by Ramaswamy Naidu, and oil painting was taught by a British portraist. So he was Theodore Johnson. British portraist Theodore Jensen. So these were the two teachers in his life. Now let's discuss the titles and acclamations because of his work. So in 1873, his work was shown in Vienna. His work was shown in exhibitions in Vienna. Next important thing is he was given the title of Kesari Hind Gold Medal. He was bestowed this gold medal of Kesari Hind. Who bestowed it? Name is very, very important. It was bestowed by Viceroy Lord Curzon. Please remember who was the Viceroy at that time? Viceroy Lord Curzon. In which year? It was in 1904. Next important thing is, as I have already said, that his name was Ravi Verma. This title Raja was given by someone else. So who gave this title of Raja? So this title of Raja also was given by the Governor General, who was Lord Curzon. So please remember which Governor General was associated with Raja Ravi Verma. He was Lord Curzon. So who gave the Kesari Hind medal? Lord Curzon. Who gave the title of Raja? Lord Curzon. Now, coming to the famous works. See, the famous works of famous personality is very important because no, any name can be directly asked in the exam. For example, his famous work, for example, Shakuntala. It can be asked that this work is related to which of the following. So at least discuss some of the important works which are continuously in use. So first is about the story of Dushyant and Shakuntala. Second is about the Nal and Damayanti from Mahabharata. Third is related to Ramayana, Ravana kidnapping Sita. Next is Lady in Moonlight. Next is Galaxy of Musicians. Next, Parsi Lading Painting. And next is Women Holding a Fruit. So at least these important works you must remember. And see, whenever you study art and culture, no, so visual representations make it easy to remember all these things. So here now I have pasted three important paintings so that you can remember. So this is the painting of women holding a fruit, which we have written here, women holding a fruit. This is the painting of Hans Damayanti, and this is the painting of Shakuntala. So I think if you are interested, no, after this lecture, you can Google all the famous paintings, all the famous works of Raja Ravi Verma. So this will help you to remember all these things. Now, a practice question for you. So this will be a third homework. You have to give the answer in the comment section. Okay. So the question is, with reference to the powers of governor under Article 161, consider the following statements. First statement is, the governor can exercise independent discretion in granting pardon. Second is, the governor acts on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. Third is Article 161 applies to offences under state laws. So now please read the question again, go through the video once again. Please don't make any mistake because we have discussed thoroughly Article 161 also, Article 163 also. So please focus on all these things. So yes, these are the three homeworks. First is you have to give the answer of this practice question. I think your next homework is related to this discretion. Okay, so you have to write the conditions of discretion. And I think next homework was you have to give the name of the places where the regional institutes of NCRT is located. Yes, so this was the third homework. So please go through the video once again because all the three topics are very important for the prelims 2026. And if you have any doubt, you can write in the comment section. So yes, that's all from my side for today. And yes, we shall meet in next lecture.